So today I'm here to talk about the various aspects in the visuals and audio of the What's Up Danger scene in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and how it contributed to the storytelling aspect of the film because A, it's a really good scene, and B, there's a lot of tiny details that make the film what it is. So at this point in the movie, Miles has very recently found out that his uncle was working with Kingpin and then he witnessed his uncle's death. Ouch! This scene takes place right after all the other Spider-Mans tell him that he can't come with them to take them back home, and Miles is feeling pretty upset about feeling useless. The scene starts out pretty shadowy, and then his powers start activating, and it lights up his eyes first, then his entire body until he breaks out of his confines. This can mean that Miles was in a dark place mentally, but then his powers came in clutch and brought him back up. We then see Miles start to walk out of his room while the song What's Up Danger starts to play, which is an awesome song choice for an awesome scene. Everything about the song, from its lyrics to its mood, is meant to hype you up, and again, it's meant to show that Miles is about to come into his own. At the same time, the Prowler's character sound starts to play, which could mean that instead of completely forgetting about his uncle now that he's gone, he's taking the good pieces of him and carrying them with him. Miles starts heading to Aunt May's shed, and everything is once again dark and shadowy until the shed completely lights up, and once he enters, this entire screen is flooded with red, which the movie often associate with Miles' character. This can be read as Aunt May's influence, specifically her web shooters, acting as a beacon of light or hope in Miles' journey, and once he takes that step, he again comes into his own. The scene cuts to some shots of the city and Miles, and at the same time some characters' dialogue starts playing, which could be interpreted as things that have been said to Miles that he is remembering right now to motivate himself, or these could just be relevant phrases that the movie wants the audience to remember right now. There's a shot of Miles looking at Spider-Man's costume, and the reflection of his face perfectly lines up with the mask, because now Miles is ready to take on the responsibility of being Spider-Man. This is a parallel to a little earlier in the movie when he did the same thing, but his face didn't line up with the mask at all because he wasn't ready yet. At the same time, you can hear Miles' mother say, "Our family doesn't run from things," which confirms the idea that Miles is ready. We see Miles spray painting over Spider-Man's blue and red costume to make it black and red. At this point, Miles is rejecting the idea of trying to be a carbon copy of Spider-Man and is instead choosing to shape his own destiny and his own identity as a superhero. The scene then cuts to Miles sitting on top of a building, and the music kind of goes quiet, almost as if Miles is saying to himself, "Am I really about to do this?" There's a shot of him sitting on the building where he and the building have little to no light on them, but the city below is completely filled with light. This is kind of meant to show that if Miles chooses to jump here and leave the shadows, he will be greatly rewarded. He finally jumps, and some glass sticks to his hands and breaks off because at this point Miles still has some anxieties and doubts, but now he's already made his decision and he's already jumped, so there's no going back now. There's an iconic shot of Miles falling into the city, but since he is upside down, it looks like he's flying upwards into the city. He is literally rising into his power at this moment. As he's falling, whenever he's in frame, the entire screen is just red and blue. These colors show up a lot whenever Miles is having a pivotal moment in his character arc, and they're showing up now because this is the moment where Miles truly gains control over his powers and what they can do. Just as he's about to hit the ground, the music almost shouts, "Can't stop me now!" And Miles, shoots into the air. The music picks up again, and this time there's some superhero-esque horns and instrumentals playing with the rap song, and as he swings from building to building, the entire city is just flooded with light. This is the moment where all the work Miles puts in pays off, and he's exhilarated as he flies through the city effortlessly, and the music and visuals really show it. There's a moment where he flies upwards as he shouts, "Woo!" which contrasts with him falling earlier in the movie while shouting, "Ah!" It really shows how far he's come with his powers. There's also another shot where he's about to jump off another building and land onto the Trust Us Bank, which symbolizes him putting faith in himself and the other Spider-Mans, but it also parallels to earlier in the movie when he tried and failed to jump off a building. You can see the same Trust Us Bank in the top left corner, which again shows us how far he's come. As soon as he lands on the building and gets a moment's rest, the music stops and all is quiet again, which makes a jarring contrast of how calm he is now and how excited Miles was just a few seconds ago. The moment is over. And then, to top it all off, Miles' new comic book slams on top of everyone else's with a sound that's a little too loud for a comic book to make, which implies that Miles' impact is going to be huge. All in all, the point of the scene is to show that Miles is truly ready to be another unique Spider-Man in his own way, and he proves the other Spider-Mans wrong by showing us that he is perfectly capable of being a good superhero. This scene is jam-packed with tiny details that enrich the story, and it makes for a really awesome film experience. So that's pretty much all I had to say, so I hope this was enjoyable. And thank you for watching.